Restart it. Let's restart
Welcome to the Farming with Peacocks podcast at Lost Peacock Creamery, where we're breaking it down.
The good.
The bad.
The goats. Okay, so we're back after a little winter break. Feels good to be back in the podcast trailer.
That's right.
Yeah, it's very claustrophobic.
And a lot has happened, which we will try and cover in this short 1 hour period.
Yeah, a lot's been going on. But first, it's January 20th. And we did a New Year's resolutions ceremony on New Year's Day. All of us got together with our little tribe, our village of, 15 people. And we did two things. We took a rock and we put our intentions to what we wanted to let go of in 2020. And we went on a little adventure quest and we buried our rocks. And then we had these little books that people were allowed to, you tore out a page and you wrote what you wanted to leave behind. And then we burned them because we like to burn things symbolically around here. And I thought it'd be a good time to check in and see how everybody's doing on what they buried and burned.
Or at least the people here today.
Right.
The 10 or 12 other people won't be talking.
Correct.
Yeah, in spirit.
Great. Well, I did anger. I have, like most, like a lot of guys out there, I have anger issues. Not like anything that's, like I don't hit people.
No.
Or animals.
And when you say anger, I would say you're more of a grump.
More of a grumpy puss.
Like
Yeah.
the grouch.
Yeah.
Oscar the grouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a sour puss.
Your anger isn't malicious or hurtful
Or violent.
But
Yeah.
you are...
It makes my day worse, and it makes the
everyone
people around
around
me
them.
slightly. It makes their day slightly worse. I don't know if the kids notice, but
Well, we're pretty good at laughing at you.
yeah.
And that's the
And I
that's
take-
the
I
good thing
take it
about
pretty
your grumpiness is you're fine if we make fun
And
of you.
So how have I been doing on it? I've been doing pretty well. I have had a few outbursts. The last one was when I built a wall slightly too high. It was too, anyways, and it wouldn't fit into the place that I wanted it to fit into, so I had to take the dang thing apart and put it back together, and that was frustrating. I usually get frustrated the night before if I work as a nurse the night before, because then I go back into my farm routine. Like, I don't miss a step, so I'm waking up way too early, and anyways. But other than that, I'm doing fine with it. I think I'm doing okay.
What are you doing? Did you create a plan for yourself?
Well, actually,
that
I've
you're
been
trying to work?
meditating. I didn't try. Like, I'd never had a New Year's resolution to meditate, but I've been meditating almost every day. I've meditated every day since I got back from Sedona, and I was meditating most days in Sedona, so I think I use Sedona as a launching pad for meditation subconsciously, and it's been working. I've been meditating, which I used to meditate, just so everyone knows. I used to meditate every day before I had the farm, and then the farm kids, new kids, set a whole... it just threw a wrench into my high-need self-maintenance routine.
Which is, so, Sedona, we went to Sedona, Matthew and I and Uncle Leo and our two kids. My aunt has a timeshare that she wasn't going to use this year and just gave to us, which was incredible. And we lived it up for a week in Sedona. It's our off season. So this is, if we were going to take a vacation, this is the time. The girls are still pregnant, no milk, no cheese. The farm is pretty slow. And Sedona, maybe a lot of you are familiar with it, but it's a vortex. It's a magical place with really big, huge rocks. And
Everywhere you look is a just candid moment.
yeah, everywhere you look is awe-inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
And we took full advantage. We hiked. We drove up to the Grand Canyon. Sissy became a junior ranger.
We rock climbed.
We rock climbed and we meditated. And you guys both, and me, we all did really well, kind of indulging in some self-care there. They had a steam room. They had a sauna. They had a jacuzzi. They had, Leo, you meditated for how long? A couple hours that one day when we were rock climbing.
I mean, I wasn't meditating the whole time.
Oh,
I
you're
was
just
exploring
sitting
some
on
of
the
time,
rocks?
maybe like half hour, and then exploring the rest of the time.
So, what was your New Year's thing?
I was trying to let go of the things that I cannot control. So I went to the dentist recently, and apparently my teeth are falling out. Not really falling out, but I'm grinding them so bad at night, and I clench my jaw a lot from the stress. So I went to the store because I'm in my mid-30s now, and apparently this is a rite of passage, and I bought a night guard. And if I feel myself getting a little too stressed out, I put the night guard in actually during the day, which I know you love. I know you find that really attractive. And it's been helping me not be so stressed. And then I also am just trying to let things go that I cannot control and focus on the things I can, which sounds so easy, right?
Cliche.
Yeah, so cliche.
Well, it's
Oh,
cliche.
beautiful.
It's not easy, but it is. Yeah,
Super
it's
cliche.
like the Serenity Prayer.
Yes. And it's going good. I'm also trying to find happiness in the things that I cannot control that I know are going to happen. And I'm trying to get okay with them before they start. So doing a lot of inner soul searching. And I mean,
I'm watching a particular funny comedy.
oh my gosh, I have been binging on Broad City, which how did I just discover this? I don't know,
It's
but
it's two like mid-20s girls in New York City who are just
they're living their
Trying to make
goofballs,
Best
trying
life.
to make it in their own way in New York City, hustling, and it's all their adventures. And Rachel loves it.
Well, and you know what I decided I like about that show? There's no fighting. I hate fighting. I hate confrontation. And I was reading the backstory on that show, the two girls who made it. They're not girls, they're women. But they decided up front, intentionally, they didn't want arguing on the show.
Mhm.
They wanted it to be very fun and uplifting, and they just wanted to move past conflict very quickly. And I love that. I think that's a great way to live your life. I mean, they really get in some pickles that are definitely the other person's fault. And they never assign
each other.
blame. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how cool. Like if we
Yeah.
could all just take that and have a lot more grace with the people that we love in our
Just
lives.
like goats. Goats don't blame.
Yeah, they do retaliate though.
Really?
just like goats. And that's how quickly Matt can derail a poignant message.
Well, I want to bring it back to the farm. So, Leo, what about you?
Mine, let's see. I mean, I had quite a few. I'll just maybe touch on one. I think isolation. So I have a tendency to, when I get stressed out, to self-isolate from other people. And I think so far it's been going pretty good. I mean, I had a little hiccup before we went to Sedona. But other than that, I feel like more connected, I guess, and I'm trying to be more aware of how actually being around people gets me through the feelings of feeling isolated way quicker than just self-isolating. So, yeah, that was awesome. And Sedona was awesome for that, too, because it felt very, it just felt like a pretty happy place and very easy to be relaxed.
Yeah.
It's because
That's
of all
awesome.
the crystals.
Yeah, definitely all that. There was a million magic shops.
There were a lot. Yeah. We didn't get any photos with our auras, though, so we'll have to go back.
I
and
got
Leo
photos
got
of
some
Matt
videos of me.
posing under the signs. Really cool
Yeah.
poses.
Oh, I never
I was
saw those.
imbibing.
You will.
Oh. Oh, are they? Okay, cool. So what's happening on the farm right now? We have a ton of things happening. So we came back from Sedona.
We're scrambling to get things
Yeah,
done
and
before
we
we
were
start
like,
milking.
Oh, we shouldn't have taken that vacation.
We never should. You never should really take a vacation, but the point of life isn't to just get as much done as possible. The point of life is to enjoy life.
Yeah.
And work, hopefully, is part of that enjoyment. Which I was going to say, a part of my letting go of anger, too, is learning how to enjoy things that I guess I was never really taught to enjoy, like working. I was doing carpentry the other day, and it was nice because everyone was home. The kids were home. you and your mom were working on like all these little painting projects and like 2 hens in a hen house, just beep, beep, beep. Leo was working with me. I started out the day kind of rough. That was my grumpy episode. But I think I cleared it out of my system pretty well by the midday, and I was pretty happy about just the sounds on the farm. Joel Saladin says the sign of a healthy farm is when everyone's like, it's a busy farm, when everyone's like moving and working and trying to get stuff done, and then like you have a nice big dinner at the end of the day, a nice big lunch, breakfast. We don't eat breakfast, but the idea is that you're moving, you're working, and you're getting things done. And that was how that day was, and the kids were kind of a part of it. And because I noticed that, it was easier not to be angry and frustrated.
That was I mean, we did work that whole day, but I had a blast. The kids, we tried out our new walkie-talkie method. So we have a perimeter fence around the farm, and they are not allowed to leave the perimeter. But there's 11 acres, so they can really adventure. And they had a walkie-talkie and we had a walkie-talkie, and the rule was when we called them, they had to respond back. We needed positive affirmation of where they were and what they were doing. And they did so good. They figured out the walkie-talkies, and they were able to have this sense of autonomy on the farm and really go play and adventure. We packed a bag full of them. It had, really important stuff like their slingshot and snacks and a flashlight and a compass.
They're like multi-tool hammer
They're
thing.
multi-tool, and I think they probably had a blast too. They got to come and interact with us, and we built some fun things. But then they also got to just go be wild and be kids. And
Is that true, Leo?
Yes. Wait, sorry. My mind wandered for a sec. They got to go be kids?
yeah, that day.
Is that what you're confirming?
Yeah, he
I
was
just knew you weren't paying attention.
I
No,
was
you just
thinking
called
about
out
if my
Leo.
phone was...
on vibrate.
Yeah, which it wasn't.
Okay.
No, they had a great time. And I think also we should do a shout out to Annie and Johnny, who come
Oh my
over
gosh,
sometimes
yeah.
and literally just work all day
Yeah.
for no reason other than they want to help out and they, like being a part of the farm. But they
They're
cleaned
just fair weather farmers.
the
let's
make
be
room
honest.
where we milk all the goats. They did more pressure washing, and then they painted everything. And they swept it out.
They
took
washed the
everything out.
ceiling.
They washed it.
It's like they
And it
gave us
looks
a new
great.
parlor
Yeah,
in
And it
like
looks awesome.
4 hours.
They
They came
did.
in, they gave us a new parlor. We have a new parlor now. So.
they are a dream team.
Yeah.
Those two can paint and clean with the best of them, and
Yeah,
they
with the
definitely did that. So you should
All
have,
right.
if
Shout
you're a
out.
farmer, you should have friends who
And
like to
you
do
should
that.
have an Annie and a Johnny.
But you can't have ours because we took them.
Yeah, I
already.
mean your own.
Yeah, find your own Annie
I don't think
and
they're
Johnny.
for sale anyway.
They probably are if you're giving them enough cheese.
There's only one Annie and Johnny.
Yeah.
So
Well,
So,
Annie and
um,
Johnny, common names. Anyway, sorry. Let's go.
What's happening on the farm right now? We are building a new packaging area.
yeah, it'll be just much better lit. It'll be more secured. So we won't have little people running through it and touching things. And it was pretty clean before, but it's going to be a lot cleaner now.
But what's the biggest thing? This is, I think, a huge quality of life
It's got a
improvement.
window. It's got a big window
MP3.
out to the world. Oh,
And an MP3
MP3
player
player.
and one of the lights.
Yeah.
So at Lowe's, I guess you can get lights that have MP3 players in
and
them.
we'll see how good that works.
Yeah, we'll see. It wasn't super
'Cause
expensive.
It seems a little cheesy, but,
But
we'll see.
we splurged on an LED. Well, $65. We splurged on a light that goes over the packaging station. It's LED, so all the lights in there are now LED and should last for what was it? 22 years? I don't. It was a really long time. But the light has a speaker in it for Bluetooth and a microphone for phone calls. So
Oh, that's nice.
yeah, I'm pretty pumped. I mean,
So
Leo.
now Matt will just be like talking in there by himself for hours.
You know
Well,
it.
Leo, you probably spend the most time in there in the
Oh, yeah,
packaging
yeah, yeah.
area.
Yeah, well,
I see it as a gift to
it's
Leo.
comparable.
So I don't have to get him Christmas presents
Yeah.
or anymore.
Cool.
You want a present? We got you a window.
Awesome.
So you're welcome.
We're also selling piglets for anyone who wants them. They're really quality piglets because they're a combination. So the moms are like a combination of
like large black and old spot.
large black, old spot.
Maybe some Burke.
No, you also said that they were Tamworth. They have Tamworth in them. They look like they have a Tamworth shape to me, but And then the dad was
Cooney.
Cooney. So they have some. They'll be really good grazers. Is that what they're called?
I mean
Foragers.
the
They're
moms
good foragers.
the moms and the dad have all grazed and foraged, and
Honestly, I don't even know how much that is true. Like some breeds are better at foraging than
well, we've
others.
never not raised a pig that didn't graze or forage, and so maybe if you throw any pig on
right,
enough
it's just
land,
what a pig does.
that's
what
what
they
they
do. They're gonna forage. So, anyways, we are selling some. So if anyone wants some, they're all the males are castrated. And they're all ready to go. They're weaned completely, and they're little healthy footballs. We're not going to be able to catch them that easy for much longer, so get them while you can.
And how many and how old are they?
They're 2 months old, and we have, I don't know, 13 left. So come and get them.
Come and get them.
That's the one exciting piece, though, is anyone who follows the farm knows about Kitchen Pig, who was the lone survivor of a litter that a mom abandoned. They froze through the night. The kids and I went out to bury.
Well, we warmed them up first because a pig isn't dead, or a farm animal isn't dead until it's warm and dead. Because a lot of the times they seem dead, you warm them up, and then they're like, power up.
So we went out to bury, picked up some dead ones, and they was alive. And so Kitchen Pig lived in our kitchen for a little bit, raised a bottle, super friendly, really hated life as a pig.
Ended up going by KP.
It went by
Kitchen
KP.
Pig.
Moved himself in with the goats.
In my head.
KP. He moved himself in with the goats. We got a text of someone who wanted a pig for a pet. Turns out they have goats, and I said, have I got a deal for you? They came and got Kitchen Pig. So Kitchen Pig is going to go live his life as
a pet.
Which is
how lucky is that?
So crazy that
we'll
worked out.
See how long it lasts.
I told them I did not want a call when Kitchen Pig became too big.
Unless it's to come eat it.
Yeah.
And I'll make bacon out of KP.
So in other news.
KP bacon's actually good.
On Wednesday, we start our first class with SPSCC.
Woo.
Matthew and I are teaching a class, how to start a profitable farm. It's a 6-week class in conjunction. Did I already say? In conjunction with South Puget Sound Community College. Yeah.
We want the people coming out of this to feel super empowered. Like, I'm going to start my farm tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to start. Because the cool thing about farming is you can step such little steps and start selling stuff. Like, it doesn't take much to get a cottage license to make jam. So we're excited to get talking with people who are really serious about farming. And
farming regeneratively and sustainably, because the people that want to start a farm on our scale, you have to think that way if you want to be profitable. So
not everyone does, but I think people who take our class will.
Yeah. I'm pumped. So that's happening Wednesday. You and Leo, you guys hooked up, 50% of the IBC tanks?
Or the rain catch?
Yeah, I did. I don't know if Leo did.
Yeah, he was there with you.
I just helped him move them around. I didn't hook any up.
Oh, yeah, he helped me.
I helped you pick out some stuff because you didn't understand anything. But other than that.
Anyways, they're working. We have IBC tanks that are collecting water. It's amazing how much water you get off of a small, dinky little roof.
So we
have a lot of roofs.
We were in Sedona, and Matthew was like, I'm so excited to get home and see how much water I've harvested. I mean, you must have said it. A lot.
It's nice to be excited about something when you're in such a beautiful area about your home, though, right?
Yeah, that's a gift.
Because if I didn't have that, then I'd be a little bit less excited.
Yeah.
I also, my guitar, I was happy to get my guitar, and anyways.
So a couple of the tanks are already full, which is crazy. They haven't been out that long, right?
But no, they've been out like 2 weeks.
I mean, rainwater harvesting is legit harvesting.
The problem with rainwater harvesting is you're never going to have enough storage around here. That's how I see it. Unless you get a pond.
Yeah.
Which we'll probably do a pond at some point. But
which would be the ultimate love note to your wife.
I'll start digging it.
Thank you.
One shovelful at a time.
That's love.
That's how Linnea would do it.
Yeah, I know. Like 10 shovelfuls a day.
That's my mom.
Within 10 years, you'll have a pond.
That is Linnea. What else? You're growing mushrooms? Your first mushroom foray
trying
was...
to grow some gourmet mushrooms.
Your first mushroom
family.
foray
and
was
medicinal.
a bust, right?
Yeah, so the first ones I did, so it's a process, but the idea is you sterilize grain, and then you add some kind of culture to that grain, and you do it in as sterile a way as possible. You need to build some equipment to do it 100% properly.
Yeah.
But
we're just growing them for ourselves. So, but what did
well,
you
yeah,
learn?
but the point is you have to do it sterile because otherwise it gets contaminated, and that's what did the first time. It was all contaminated by some kind of mold. I don't know that. I can't say the whole name. It's like trick is the short word for it. But anyways, it was all contaminated. So.
But the second time around, what'd you do different? You just sterilized.
Sterilized a little bit longer, made sure everything was cleaner, and instead of using sheep wool as the vent, which I sterilized the sheep wool too, I used acrylic, like non-organic mats, fuzzy stuff for the
Cotton balls. They're called cotton balls.
It wasn't cotton. Cotton's actually it was isn't artificial, but it was an artificial. Anyways, whatever. It worked. It's working right now. So I have mycelium growing. So it's my little science experiment, which I like little science experiments.
Yeah, you are a tinkerer, and it's exciting to see you get so excited about your crop, your little mini crop.
Yeah, well, it's good too because then if someone actually wants to grow mushrooms in our thing, then I'll have at least the elementary knowledge of what that looks like and different ideas to help them out. Because I think mushrooms are a really good thing to grow. Gourmet mushrooms, if you can do it on any kind of scale, you will sell them. I mean, chefs love mushrooms. So, yeah.
And they're expensive. Barns, new feeders. You knocked out 2 feeders in like 2 days.
I did.
I was impressed.
I did a good job on the feeders.
Which is huge.
They're working pretty well. We had one goat that got caught in one, which...
Yeah, it was the middle of the night, and it was pouring rain, and I woke up out of a dead sleep because I thought I heard a screaming. And I walked to the bathroom, and I opened the bathroom window, and I heard a screaming. And so I got all dressed up, and I went downstairs, and there was definitely a goat caught in the feeder. And I cut her out, but I was standing next to her, and she let out this scream that was so massive. It jarred me. It like made everything
It was like
in
a magical power scream.
It was. I felt.
She almost fell. You almost fell to the ground.
I felt very overcome by like the pain of this animal. But it was easily fixed.
It probably wasn't pain. It was probably just fear.
Right. Well, she was. I mean,
fear.
She was in distress.
Yeah,
for sure. So we cut her out, and she's fine. Obviously, her head was just stuck in a feeder.
Actually, Rachel cut her out by herself. I didn't get woken up for that one. So
I meant we, as in me and the goat. We worked together.
Her screaming
so
and you cutting.
Her screaming, me cutting. So it was a little teamwork. So
nice.
That was nice. The new feeders though are huge. Have you noticed a change in your feeding, Leo?
A change in my feeding?
Yeah, like do you find it easier to feed?
No. It's there's more spots to feed now.
Yeah.
So
so it's more
work.
You're welcome.
Well, I think that.
But I do like that it's along the thing because I hated lifting up that.
That's one
that
plus.
was annoying.
Yeah. It'll be better when it's not so muddy too, because then you could like get right up to it.
No, it's fine. It's not. Yeah. They're nice because I like just through the window.
And more feeders in more barns means the goats are spread out more. So there was no feeder in our third little barn, and so not that many goats went in it. And we really need them to be dispersing themselves better.
Yeah.
Because goats pee and poop where they sleep. So
not the brightest.
Yeah, that's one of the annoying things about goats. You know, llamas and alpacas don't do that.
I do know because I've seen it.
They just poop in one spot.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Could you imagine pooping and peeing where you sleep? Let's just all think about that. Viewers at home.
So gross.
Well,
that's why pigs are. That's why people think pigs are so smart. And not saying pigs aren't smart, but they don't. They don't defecate where they eat.
Yeah, but
and they're
survivors.
Like
they're clean though.
Pigs are survivors.
Well, kitchen pig definitely is.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. It would be hard
kitchen
to kill
pig's probably the least of the survivors. He survived that one time, but he's a pet.
Yeah. Well, he is now.
He wouldn't hack it out in the real world anymore.
No.
We tried to put him back with the pig so many times, and he's just like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah, he would just show up on our doorstep covered in mud. Like, whoa, barely made it out of there alive.
Like, what are those things?
Yeah.
I like the goats.
Yeah. He's like, I'm more of a dog.
I'm like a goat person.
Yeah.
He gets
he
so
would
excited
eat dog
when he
food.
Yeah, that's right.
And he would constantly hang around the farm dog that guards the farm, Cleo, who's like this big
Cleo
bear
hates
dog.
her.
And Cleo did not like him at all.
Hates
He
him, yeah.
loved hanging out with her.
Yeah, because he was hoping
Cleo
for
thought
scraps.
KP thought that Cleo was his mom,
Yeah,
and like he didn't even care that Cleo just wanted to bite him
all the time.
all the time.
And growl and bark
Yeah,
at
just
him.
like-
He was
okay.
like, "This is love, I guess."
Yeah, that was his norm. His norm.
What else? Kidding season is right around the corner. February 6th, the first
Yep.
goats are due, but we've kind of already started to see vulvas, vaginas are starting to get puffy. Milk is coming in. And so we were just talking about this the other day. This is our least favorite time of year.
I thought you liked this time of year.
There's a lot of stress associated with this time of year that I could do without. I like the baby goats. I like being there for every delivery. It's not something I need in my life to be fulfilled. So I try to find the joy where I can.
Just a real quick anecdote here. I just want to say something because this is oftentimes a point that like animal rights activists say, and I'm an animal rights person. We're animal welfare approved, but
This is where we go. Me and Rachel and I go, well, let's buckle up. Let's see where this is going.
okay,
What's gonna happen here?
okay.
Let's hear this anecdote.
Okay, well, it's an important one because every time I read things like that are criticizing the dairy industry, which there's a lot to be criticized, of course, we believe that there's a lot wrong with the large-scale dairy industry and even some small-scale dairies. Even we're not perfect ourselves, so we try to be, but we're not. Goats get bred on a yearly basis. That's how they make milk. Just like humans, we're all mammals. When we give birth, we make milk.
When we give birth.
Sorry, I want equality. I'm hoping that can happen someday. But
Interesting.
anyways, the idea is like what's often brought up in the animal welfare criticism of the dairy industry is that cows are bred way too often. And maybe it's true. I don't know what the dairy schedule is like if they do it more than every year. Do you know that?
No, I don't know.
I don't think so. I think they do it on a yearly basis, but maybe they do it like every 8 months or 10 months, which is kind of weird. They also induce, like they do it artificially most of the time. We do it all natural. But the idea is like they're pregnant all the time. They're pregnant every year. Well, guess what? What happens in the wild with deer?
Yeah.
Are they getting pregnant every year?
Yes.
Yes. They like it. It's what they do. They have babies
Oh,
until
like
they
it.
die.
Yeah.
Well, their bodies go into
Yeah.
the bucks
That's
go
a
into
good
rut,
point. I never thought
and
about that.
and the does go. Yeah. So like whenever I see that, I'm just like, this is so ridiculous. Anyways, I just want to make that point. This happens in the wild. We're not trying to mess with nature in that way. There's bad parts. I just want to.
Well, and we're not. We don't use lights to bring girls into heat. There's a shot you can give them that brings them in out of their cycle. We work with their heats. So
Yeah, we don't need to be super precise, and so it is pretty natural, and I'm sure that they enjoy it because they like it. It's mating.
I mean, that's an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah,
But
that is an
it's part
interesting-
of it's
so,
part of biology
it's-
or
I
like
think
That
it's
biological
evolutionary.
drive.
Yeah.
right,
Drive.
it fulfills
liking it-
something in their brain. Yeah, there's only
Yeah.
a few mammals that have sex for pleasure. Humans,
During
dolphins.
during
and
I
breeding
mean,
season,
they
like
want
it.
they obviously want to do it
Yes.
because
their body is
they-
telling them to get bred.
well, and they're like they go
Agree to
get the
disagree.
boys.
Agree to
Yeah.
They go
disagree.
get the boys
Leo.
sometimes.
Agree to disagree.
you think? Oh, okay.
Wait, I
Yeah.
thought you were agreeing with me.
I think they enjoy it.
You think they enjoy?
I know. I'm saying
getting bred.
they obviously want to do it
Mhm.
because they go find the boys. And like
Mhm.
when the boys are locked up and they're getting close to it, they like go along the fence line like wanting to smell
Yeah.
the boy and wanting the male to chase them and
Yes.
stuff like that. Now, does it always look like that? I don't know, but that's just the way you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm agreeing with you.
Oh,
So I don't know
okay.
why you're saying agree to disagree.
Okay, Rachel, I agree to disagree.
Well, I'm just saying that I don't know that they like it. I think that's an anthropomorphication that
Yeah.
we're not able to do. But
but
I do think it settles them their bodies are telling them to breed.
Yeah.
And then we breed them, and then they're settled down.
But how does
mean,
a body tell
people-
you to breed? They're like,
But we want to procreate. We want to procreate. Most animals want to procreate. I mean, that's
not
the
this
way it
animal.
is.
Just
Yes,
FYI.
and-
well,
This
you've done it twice.
This one's done though.
Okay,
this
but
one's all
you've
done
done
with
it.
that.
You've
Yeah.
done it.
But that's the thing. Actually, when I'm sure that when they want to breed, they're not like, I just really want to make a baby. You know, like I don't
Yeah.
think they're like, I just
Well,
need to
I
have
hope
a
they're
skin,
not like that.
a hair colored poop that I can nurse to grow up to be like me.
All right.
Yeah, they're not planning for college.
Yeah, they're trying to get it on. That's all I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
opinion. Like
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
pleasure thing.
Yeah,
That's,
the pheromones
that's how
are
the
out.
biology works. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Biology,
And now,
for sure.
here we are about to see the result of them wanting to get it on
Right, and
145
that's-
days ago.
And that's another part of this part of the season that's hard for me is like babies. You love these baby goats. You feed them. You care for them. It's a lot of work
Yeah.
to feed a baby goat. Like
Bottle feeding them.
it's an extra thing that we do.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of time that you put to train a baby goat to use the bucket feeder is one of the most frustrating processes on this planet.
It's
yeah.
super
Like-
fun to watch you do it, though.
You know what? You can do it this year because I hate that job.
No, everybody
I
hates
hate
it.
that
It's not a
job.
fun job.
It's very frustrating. They're like, they're so hungry and so excited to eat, and you try to put their little face on this thing, and they're
Yeah.
like they get it. Anyways, let's move on with this thing.
So,
we'll talk about that when we get
yeah,
to
when
it.
we get
Yeah.
maybe this year will be our year.
You're for what?
The baby goats take to the bucket milker quickly.
No.
So last but not least, what's happening on the farm? We are starting a preschool, and I'm busy at work doing all the administrative side. You know, writing the policies and procedures, writing the job descriptions for the people we're going to hire, creating a lot of lists and
And I
things
just want to
that
say thank you
we
for
need
that
to do.
too.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, because
Oh wow.
I have to remind myself because I have a lot of crappy jobs on the farm, and there's some things that like when things break, I have to fix them.
Yeah, you always do. Thank you for that.
So it's a lot of work, and sometimes you can, as if in a family situation, you can be like, you can just like start your inner dialogue and be like, I have to do so much, and Leo's actually my exterior dialogue person, so I can go
Yeah.
to him and complain,
Yeah.
and he doesn't.
It's for both of them, actually. I hear the complaints.
Well, we both have someone to complain to.
When
Yeah,
they,
we're
if
lucky.
they ever go to like some type of counseling, they'll take me along, and
Yeah,
I'll be the
we
mediator.
We will
Well, he
have
is
to
our
take
counselor.
you.
We owe him a
Yeah,
lot.
we don't have to go to counseling.
Yeah.
We have you.
True. And I always gaslight and pit them against each other. No, I'm just kidding.
So the preschool is happening, and that's exciting. And then,
And we're actually, this is a cool business because we're actually going to hire people.
yes, yeah, we're
If
pumped.
you want to teach preschool 4 hours a day, 5 days
Well,
a
it'll
week,
actually
in
be
an amazing setting
6
in a
hours a
magical
day.
world.
Yeah, let's let Rachel do the pitch.
It'll
huh?
be
No, I'm
6
just
hours a day for the lead teacher, and then the teacher's assistant will probably be about 4 hours a day.
kidding. 5 days a week.
So it's not
5 days a
100%
week.
outdoor, which is one of the things that we were pitching before. There is an indoor space, which I think is pretty necessary in
yeah.
this muddy world.
Yeah,
But we have a nice big indoor space that we will dedicate to the preschool, which
Mhm.
is nice.
yeah. Which I'm glad you think that it's going to be nice because you have some construction improvements to make it nice.
And
So
to make it so.
I'm glad you're excited about it.
I'm
So,
excited.
moving
I'm excited
on.
to help. Well, just a little bit more on the preschool thing. Leo, what do you think about the preschool?
I think it's a good idea. I think the kids growing up here, Bodie, who basically is
Annie and Johnny,
How
the
would you-
people who cleaned our parlor. It's
they're
their kid.
basically family, basically my nephew, and then Bonsai and Isadora. I think watching them grow up on the farm at their age, it'll be awesome to have other kids experience that. However
Yeah.
they experience.
I'm
it
guessing
in
that
preschool.
the kids that go to preschool here are gonna have a lifetime of feeling comfortable around farm animals
yeah,
And feeling
and
comfortable
knowing
with
where
the
their food
unknown.
comes from.
I hope.
And
getting dirty.
and
Mhm.
we plan on getting like they're gonna be eating food that we produce on the farm.
That
They're
they
gonna be
produce.
foraging their own food. They're
Mhm.
gonna be growing their own food. Our hope this first year it's gonna be 4 hours a day. we're probably not going to be able to, but in the future we hope to be able to get some lower income kids in or have scholarships available, because that's who you want to
Absolutely.
give a
yeah.
chance to.
Franchise
Right.
people, you want to help.
Yeah, exactly. You wanna
But just
help
like
those people.
anything, we have to prove the concept first.
Yeah.
And then we can start expanding
Yeah.
offerings. But it's a great time to start it because Bonsai's starting preschool. He should be starting preschool. And that's, I think, one of the things that drove us is, okay, our kid should be in preschool. Well, why wouldn't we start our own and then he can be on the farm? So basically,
never thought
we're
that.
starting a
Wow,
preschool.
I never even thought
So-
I never once thought
I
that.
literally
Oh.
thought he was still gonna be babysat. But
No.
that makes sense.
Yeah, it's his
But
preschool.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, so
Rachel's
I'm the
known
only
as a
one who.
schemer.
I only thought I'm okay.
She
well,
schemes.
it was a great thought on my part.
It is a great thought.
Thank you.
A lot of it was based on the financial part of it, but that's good. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why you got on board.
Yeah.
So
Well,
this
no,
weekend,
actually, Leo and I had a conversation before too when I was like, how do we impact change? How do we get, how do we make this world better? Because that's why we're doing what we're doing.
yes,
A big part of it is to make the world a better place. But he mentioned and I mentioned that a lot of it could be in education. Just like, what if more and more of what education is, it's not just like numbers and writing, but like learning about food, learning about the ecology of the planet, and just having that be a huge part of like education and how
sustainable.
and how you prioritize your life and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So my hope is to be launching the preschool in May. So I said it out loud. So we'll see if it happens.
Woo.
But I'm
I
pumped.
thought you did doubles.
This weekend I'm speaking at the Women in Ag conference. I'm on a panel where we're talking about women in agriculture. So
I
We
just
can
want
talk
to.
about that next
how many
podcast.
people have asked me to do a speech? By the way,
So this last week, Matthew and I celebrated our 4th anniversary, our 4th wedding anniversary.
no, I wanted to do you this time.
Oh, thank you. And we went to Ricardo's, which
Wow.
we've sold cheese to, but we've never been to.
And this Siskel and Ebert gives it
2 thumbs up. It
Well,
was
you
one
can only do
one
one.
thumb.
oh, I just do one. Oh,
2 thumbs
2
up in
thumbs up.
total, though.
from both of us.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
50%.
Matthew got me a 1920s flappers costume dress. It's a dress. It's not
It's a
costume
legit
material.
dress.
Yeah, it's legit. And so of course I wore it with the head.
And I wear a Buddy
thing.
Holly suit.
Matthew wore my dad's vintage white raw silk suit that he got tailored to fit him. And he
Yeah.
looked
What was the
incredible
place
in
that
it.
tailored that? It was a place on the west side.
Yeah, they did a
It was
great
an
job.
alteration shop on the west side in the same parking lot as
Big Five.
If you want any alterations done, they have great deals and they do a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, we took for those of you who don't know, Matthew is on the smaller side.
Compact. I don't like to
for
say
men.
small. I like to say compact.
And actually vertically challenged.
Yeah, so he's 5'6", and he has this perfect little 30-inch waist. And so a lot of times men's clothes don't fit him as well, which is probably why he's always wearing mine.
Yeah, it's true.
But for Christmas, he got some nice wool, like will last you for your entire life
Filson?
wardrobe. Yeah, I got some Filson pants on Poshmark, which was
Shout out.
shout out to both of those places because I got Filson pants
Well,
for really
Filson's one of the
cheap.
few places that actually, don't they still manufacture in the States?
I think so. Yeah, they have a big plant in Seattle, or their store has the sewing machines going.
Yeah, so that means they make it and
Yeah.
sell it in the States. Whereas the last place we were getting our items from,
Pendleton.
Uh-uh.
Well, they've just moved outside of, but vintage
In China.
Pendleton's still made in America. Well, it was.
Yeah,
So
vintage.
it
Pendle-
is
is
vintage.
still made. Is it still made?
So,
at all?
Anyway.
they're not making anything in the U.S.
They're not anymore.
By the way.
So, but you got vintage for Christmas, and Matthew got them all tailored because you're not a average size doesn't mean your clothes shouldn't
I'd be
fit.
actually bigger than average in Guatemala.
You're giant in Guatemala.
Thank you.
You're
Wow.
so tall.
I'd be considered average in Guatemala.
Yeah, or the Mayans. The Mayans
Well,
like
that's what make up the Guatemalan population.
well, no, like the ancient Mayans.
Yeah.
They weren't very tall.
Or like pygmies or something.
Because the door jams were very low.
Okay, we
You
get
would
it.
hit
He's
your
small.
head.
We get it. Everyone gets
I would
it.
hit my head on their door jams. I need to go there.
Probably.
That's what I need to make.
Yeah, you'd be
You
a
need to go
giant.
into the past?
Yeah, you need to go to ancient
You're going to
Mayan.
invent a time machine
Oh,
and go
you mean
into
the ruins?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The before time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
am
my
a
brother's
blast from the
small.
past.
Okay, what's the next?
Anyway.
Yeah,
What's the
next.
point
Well,
here?
but the point is that that's a self-care thing, right? Like getting clothes that
tailored.
fit you. Tailoring
sure.
your clothes. It was a little bit extra money, but now all your clothes fit you. You look super hot. And I am just like, I love seeing you in your tailored clothes.
Thanks, sweetie. So, anyways, that place was really good.
Yeah.
The service.
Incredible. So Ricardo's does this dry aged beef technique. So when you
Well, I want
first
to talk about the service.
walk
real quick,
in,
though.
when you first walk in, there's a whole cooler room that has all the meat. And it's a technique that is
Dry aged meat.
but it's not something people are familiar with. And Kim, who was our waitress, is that
Yes,
still what you
that's
call
PCC.
people? Okay. I
That's
just wasn't sure.
PCC.
That's PCC. She was so knowledgeable that it was incredible to be served food by someone who was passionate about it, which was, I
Yeah.
mean, awesome.
Yeah. She was passionate, and she could answer all those questions that we think about as farmers, which is like, who grew this?
Which is
Where
so
was it
cool.
fished?
Ricardo's gets
How
their
did they
beef
prepare it?
from a local place. And so
It's not
well,
necessarily
it's
local, but it's a
Washington.
co-op.
Yeah.
It's a co-op where all the families grow their beef in a certain kind of way with a certain level of animal and environmental stewardship. And, I mean, that's what it's all about. And the more... It's unfortunate that you can only get it at places like Ricardo's, because here we have Ricardo's, which was serving us amazing food, but we also ate out in Sedona like 2 or 3 times.
Right. And so that's what we were talking about in Sedona it kind of hit us because we ate it. I mean, they weren't bad restaurants. They were nice. They had like 4
Independent
stars on
diners.
Yelp. Yeah. But it really hit us that,
That's what I have to say.
well, it hit us that all restaurants, for the most part, maybe 85% of restaurants out there are getting all their food from Cisco.
yeah, from like some kind of like mass food distributor.
And so a lot of the talent of the restaurant comes down to the chef. But in a case like Ricardo's or Iron Rabbit is the same way.
If you get
Calnero
biscuits and gravy,
in
the gravy's made
Edmonds.
out of some like white powdered with water.
No, not at those places I just listed.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the places that we
Typical like independent diners.
sell cheese to, they're also buying other ingredients, and they're high class ingredients, and you can taste that. And
Taste the
so
difference.
it's like
taste the
already a leg up on flavor. And so we were talking about this, we don't eat out a lot as a family. In fact, we never eat out. But
Yeah, very seldomly.
how cool if if you are a family that eats out a lot, people are like, oh, those restaurants are too expensive. Ricardo's is too expensive. Well, what if you ate out way less at the other places, and then when you did dine, you had this true culinary experience like Ricardo's gave us?
And think about there's actually kids there. Ricardo's isn't a super ritzy place.
Oh, yeah, we were
There
way
was
overdressed.
Kids there. There were people in hoodies, which I thought was insulting personally, but
Well, that's the Pacific Northwest.
yeah,
People
that's just
don't
how
dress up
people
here.
dress. They're like, I'm gonna get some good food in my hoodie and my pajamas, and then they go out and they do it. But there's also music playing across the way. Oh, their cocktail.
Yeah,
It's so good.
they had Matthew's a gin and tonic guy.
Mhm.
But instead of just gin and tonic, they do this thing where they put herbs in a ice cube.
Mhm.
And then as they put the ice cube in the gin and tonic, it starts to...
As it
Melt.
melts,
Like,
it infuses.
And the gin and
herbs.
tonic gets flavorful, which was
Mm.
like legit.
It was
Wow.
really good, and it got me pretty drunk.
Oh, well, I
Not
mean,
that drunk.
you don't drink that much, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it was really good though. People should have gin and tonics there, even if you don't get the meal. Get a gin and tonic.
Yeah, I get
'cause-
the. I mean, literally everything was good. We got the dessert, panna cotta. I didn't even know I liked. but it was very good.
Yes.
Very, very happy. And so,
I wish we didn't split it. I wish we got. That's the one regret that I have about that. Well, I was really full.
Matthew was like, he ordered the beef,
Uh-huh.
and the beef obviously is what you get at Ricardo's. I didn't. I got the seafood pasta, which I think they make the pasta from scratch. It was very good. But Matthew was like, I must eat. The beef will never be this good again. And so he was like,
Just overate.
just like focused on eating the beef.
I ate
It
like
was-
half the steak.
It
so,
was, and we were so full,
Yeah,
but it was nice.
It was good.
So that's the takeaway from all that. Wrapping it up.
Yep. Okay.
Huh.
What hit us, our epiphany, is ingredients matter.
Wow. Elbows.
Oh, you can't even. So ingredients matter, and we should pay attention to those restaurants that buy from local places, because you will get a superior product just as a baseline. This
That was really
this
rude, Leo.
tastes better.
I agree. I was just tired. Okay.
Shut up! Don't make excuses.
All right. Sorry.
So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah. Okay.
Didn't you say that more than once?
Well,
Yeah,
no.
like 3
so far,
times.
I've wrapped up a couple thoughts, and
Okay,
now I'm
yeah.
gonna
so-
wrap up
so
the podcast.
and which is
Okay.
you have like one last thing, right?
Yeah,
No.
I want to talk about what we're excited about in 2020.
Oh.
For the farm.
For the world or for the farm?
For the farm. Or for yourself personally, but I mean it should relate
To the farm.
to yourself or the farm.
I'm excited for the farm in general.
Are you excited
Nice.
about
Wait,
your
hold
window?
on. Let me take it again. You guys talk. No.
Okay, I'm excited about this farm because I just discovered this awesome new band called Aurora.
Oh,
It's actually
that
just a girl.
counts.
She's
I
like
can
a
just say whatever I
24
want.
She's like a 24-year-old female. I think it's gonna bring music
Why do you
back
have
into
to
my
say her
life.
age every time?
Because I think
It's
it's so
so
weird. Because I'm a
weird.
38-year-old dude who likes
24
this,
is
like,
not that young.
teeny bopper.
She's not a
She's
teeny
not
bopper.
a teeny bopper.
She's like a
Oh.
freaking ethereal, like
She
alternative
is.
rock.
She's like a
person.
creature
She's awesome.
from
If anyone
the
wants
other
to check
side.
it out,
It's like Bjork
if anyone
2.0.
likes music, it is. There's some Bjork. I think she has a lot more pop sensibility. I think
Mhm.
Bjork tries to go for the shock factor a lot more, and I'm just like, anyone can shock you, but like, can you make
Hot
original
take,
music?
hot take.
Can you make original music that's actually
Catchy.
fun to listen to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard. And
Yeah.
she does a really good job at it. She also has a lot of emotions that she puts into it, and like working with that music in the background yesterday was just like like when I've been doing chores in the morning, I just like stop and I'm just like and I'm just like, is anyone watching? Because I don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love it.
Oh, I'm
It's
so
so
happy
good.
she-
It's hard for me to find music that I like, and already like I can feel it like seeping into people around me. Like Linnea's been playing her recorder. Maybe that's not why. And
So
the
my
kids
mom-
have been
Well, let me-
dancing more and singing more. So it's like
Yeah.
it's nice that I'm into some music, because like it's hard for me to find music that I enjoy. So
Yeah.
So this is my mother. She lives on the farm while she's finishing her house next door. She bought the 5 acres next to us. But she lives in a trailer on the farm, and I go in every morning and I have a cup of coffee with her and we chat and we have our little hen house time. But the other day I was getting ready to leave and she goes, "Oh, would you like to hear a song?" And she pulls this like 5th grade recorder out and starts
Wait, just you?
just me.
Not your kids?
No, just me.
I didn't know that.
And
That's
she
way
starts,
funnier.
like playing the recorder,
Wow.
which she's been practicing, and it just brought me so much joy because my mom is very musical. She was the first woman in the Oregon State pep band, which was incredible.
Playing a sax.
Playing the alto sax. She played the bassoon, or the oboe or the bassoon. Oh, we should double check on that. One of those. And she was just super, super talented. But through her life as a military wife and, you know, just those things, she lost sight of it and didn't really have the time. She raised 2 children who are incredible.
So if
And
anyone's looking for a bassoonist,
well, she's got to get back
saxophonist,
into it. But I
or
think she's going to.
recorder artist.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Leo and I were talking about this the other day, that our children are now of the age when they should be playing They should be in some
At least
sort of music
starting
class.
intro, yeah.
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 Especially Isadora.
Yeah. And so there's like a musicality that's coming to the farm, and that's probably because we have more time and we're not frantic and trying to get a business off its feet or on its feet off the ground. So that's exciting.
Yes, so you're looking forward to that for the
No.
So literally both your things have
No.
nothing to do with
That's
the
not what
farm.
I'm looking forward to. I was just adding
Why
to
did I get
Matthew's.
prepped with the farm?
So my
stuff?
thing that I'm pumped about is the preschool, obviously. But I am excited because I'm a marketer. For 10 years before I quit my job, I was a marketer. And I've never really treated this farm like a full-blown business I should market because there hasn't been time. I mean, I've done little
we're selling
things.
out on cheese.
I'm pumped to do a full-blown marketing push and really put everything I know into this farm and see where it takes us.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun,
Dun, dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun,
dun. Leo.
Let's see. Well, I'm excited for, well, okay, two things. One, I'm excited. I think my film stuff is going well. I think I might be shooting a low indie budget feature film in the summer, and it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of cool people are working on it.
And a portion of it will be shot on this farm.
Maybe.
I'd say there's like
Well, we already shot some of it on the farm. I don't know if
Okay.
we'll use the farm again, but we might. I'm not sure on the details, but we might. And it is you're sneaking the farm in there.
No, I just think
I
that's
see your
exciting.
motives.
No, I love having I love when you bring people here to shoot, as long as
Yeah.
it doesn't require work on my part.
Yeah.
I like having people. I like being around creative people. I think
Yep.
that's exciting.
No, I think it's great, and I think I'm excited too because I feel like the I'm getting more work with the film, and it's starting to take off more. Because 3 years ago, I stopped doing what I was doing before, which is like a lot more like factory style farming, I guess. And now I'm like, oh, I'll go back to school and take some film classes, something I wanted to do when I was young. And I'm like, oh, finally I'm kind of starting to slowly chip away, and it's kind of like that, when you're getting on a roller coaster and it's like, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
pretty soon, in the next 2 to 3 years, I feel like I'm going to be full blown in the film industry. But I'm also excited for you doing more marketing stuff, because that means I can help you do more
Yes.
marketing stuff with a computer
Yes.
and
Yeah,
with
we will
editing.
use computers.
I guess I mean a new computer.
Yes.
Computer, an editing
Yeah,
computer.
I'm gonna buy
which
you a
is
new
expensive.
computer, boy.
Yeah, we'll put that into the Kickstarter. And then I think that'll be a lot of fun making films with the kids. And anyway, I'm excited for that stuff.
Yeah.
making
More
making stuff.
creative
I'm
endeavors.
excited
Creative
about that,
stuff
'cause
for
I
the
love
farm.
acting.
Yeah,
I love
exactly.
Being on
Yeah,
film.
I was
Yeah.
thinking that yes,
I think
we
everyone
don't
does.
use you enough.
And
we
they
make
should.
you be
Thank you.
yourself, but we really should write some better roles for you.
I'm glad that I'm the one that
We don't need to write any roles for Matt. If Matt is just himself, that's a character. But no, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun
Yeah.
this year. And I'm glad that you guys are less stressed, because I think it's more fun when you guys are
Well,
less
that's why I'm
stressed.
always guarded about whenever Rachael has, because I'm the gatekeeper to like what we actually put our energy into a lot of the
Yeah.
times. Because Rachel's like, "Woo, let's start a buying club. Let's get a school going. Let's do this. Let's do that." And I'm like, hold on, there.
Yeah.
Hold on, time out,
Yeah.
time out.
Time. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And usually you're grateful for me doing that.
Yes.
Because basically, it's you positive bullying me, and you make me into the negative.
Okay,
side of
but-
That really stuck when I said that
Yeah.
the first time.
Okay, so just for reference, Leo and Matthew think that I'm a positive bully.
Not all the time. Not all the time. But
Not all-
sometimes.
Okay, but what is a positive bully?
A positive bully, I don't know if I'll be able to explain it that succinctly, but basically is when someone is forcing a positive attitude on you and not validating what you're feeling, where you might feel frustrated or angry, and they're attempting to like force positivity onto you.
Can I just give an example?
You may.
Well, this happened to Leo, but like, Rach, like okay. So for instance, my beautiful, lovely wife Rachel. A lot of things
Oh.
aren't
How
stressful.
bad's this gonna
He's
be?
about to say
Are-
something condescending.
I
for
know,
touching me.
Are not stressful for her that are extremely stressful for other people.
Yeah.
So like for instance, when Leo was doing the summer camps, he was
Yeah.
Rachel was like, can you just like do the we always do t-shirts where we do tie-dye t-shirts.
We've talked
Yeah.
about him on this
And then-
podcast.
Yeah.
and,
that's-
and then
Yeah.
there's the
Yeah.
picture
The silk screen.
silk screening.
Yeah.
Leo's never done the silk screening. She's like, you just kind of like blah, blah, blah. She doesn't really know how to explain it. She doesn't, or maybe she did not explain it, but she didn't explain it. But she told him to do it. She's like, it's super easy. And for Leo, it was this horrible, like, he was already stressed
I was at
out.
the end of my rope.
He was
though.
at the
I
end
don't
of
know
his
if this is a
rope.
good
This
example.
is a
It is
terrible
a great
example.
example.
Well, because she wasn't trying to bully me. She wasn't aware that I was having a hard time, and no one was.
Oh,
So
okay.
a better example is like Rachel will like.
Sorry, Rachel.
What,
I forgive
yeah,
you.
does this do we need to explain more? Like,
No,
do we
no.
need to
I
have
think
an
it's
example?
obvious. It's self-explanatory.
Yes,
Positive bullying.
Rachel is a very positive person. She sees the world
Beep beep.
like it's all bright. Like if you've ever put on those glasses that like makes the world a brighter tint, that's how she goes through life every day.
Lucky you,
Most
Rachel.
Most people, I'll give you an example. One thing Rachel said the other day was at night, she replays all the positive, dope experiences that she has in her day.
I do
went,
a greatest hits.
How many people do that? My end of my day is like battling anxiety and ruminating about shit I may or may not have said.
And having arguments with
And
all the
having
people.
arguments with fake people, whether or not I'm right or wrong.
Yeah, I'd say that's more normal.
Exactly, thank you. And listen, it's not a bad thing or a good thing, but sometimes it's annoying when you're in a angry mood and someone's like, "Oh, why don't you just be happy about this?" And you're just like, "You're right. I wish I could be happy. Maybe I'll just smile."
Yeah, I'll just be a smiley little dude. Just be a smiley little gnome. So much of the time.
So that's being a positive bully.
And so I'm working on it because
And
a bully is a bully, and we
No,
take
listen,
bullying
we're
seriously.
negative bullies.
Yeah, it's fine. You know
We're
what? There's
negative
way more
bullies.
negative bullies out there. It's okay.
Yeah, we need
She's-
more positive bullies.
She can do that. That's all right.
Yeah, but it's fun to complain about.
Yeah. It's a
There's
weird
not
thing
much to complain about with Rachel, whereas with Matt and I, there's like a laundry list. But
Well, thank you guys for the therapy session.
it's 58 minutes.
Yeah.
What do we want to do here?
And I say wrap it up.
All right. The good, the bad,
The goats.
the good,
This is
The-
Farming with Peacocks.
the good.
The bad.
The goats.
We're out. Till next time. Till next time.